Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you ever asked yourself, should I start with chickens, pigs or goats, then this video is for you. A lot of people jump into livestock farming because they hear one animal is more profitable than another. But the truth is, profitability depends on several factors. Today, I'll compare chickens, pigs and goats under 6 practical categories: capital, space, feeding cost, disease, market, and reproduction. So by the end of this video, you have a clear idea of which livestock enterprise best suits you and your budget and your goals. Without wasting much time, let's get started. So let's begin with capital. For many people, this is the biggest deciding factor. So if you are looking for a way to scale up quickly or start making profits with relatively low capital, then chicken farming is one of the best options. For broilers, you are looking at just about 6 to 7 weeks before they are ready for the market. And if you are into layers, in about 5 months, you can begin enjoying a steady flow of income from egg production. Goat farming, on the other hand, requires more patience. Goats generally take around 12 to 18 months before reaching a good market weight, meaning your capital stays invested for a much longer period before you start seeing returns. Pig farming falls somewhere between these two. The initial investment is moderate, and pigs generally reach market weight faster than goats but slower than broilers and layers, so the chickens. So if quick returns are your priority, chickens have the advantage. Let's quickly move on to space. So space being the second factor. If you all have is a small piece of land, or all that you have is a small piece of land, or even your backyard, then poultry farming is probably your best option. With proper housing and a good management, you can raise a good number of birds within a relatively small area. Goats, however, require more space because of their size and their adventurous nature. They love moving around, browsing different plants, and exploring their surroundings. Pigs also require an appreciable amount of space. Although they don't roam around like goats, they still need comfort housing with enough room for movement, feeding, and maintaining good hygiene. So, if land or space is limited, chickens clearly or poultry farming clearly come out on top. Let's move on to the third factor: feeding cost. Chickens mainly rely on commercial feed, the starter, the broiler feed, the layer feed. However, if you are raising local breeds, food scraps and other local available food resources can sometimes be used to reduce feeding costs. Goats are excellent grazers. If you have access to good pasture or grazing land, feeding becomes much less of a concern because they can obtain a significant portion of their nutrients from natural vegetation. This can greatly reduce production costs. Pigs, however, require diets that are rich in protein and balance to achieve good growth and productivity. Because of this, feeding pigs can become quite expensive if proper planning isn't done. So in terms of feeding cost, goats generally have the advantage where pasture is available. Let's move on to the fourth category, or the fourth thing that we talk about in this video. And the fourth category is disease. So one major advantage of goat farming is that goats are generally less prone to disease when they are managed properly. This reduces treatment costs and makes goat farming attractive to many beginners. Pigs, on the other hand, face disease such as African swine fever. And this disease that I'm talking about, the African swine fever, or the ASF. That's how it is commonly known. It's one of the most serious diseases affecting pigs, and because there is no widely available cure, like nothing of vaccination or anything of that sort has been talked about when it comes to ASF or African swine fever that affects the pig. Prevention through good biosecurity is extremely important. Chickens are also susceptible to several diseases, including Newcastle disease and Gumboro disease. The good news is that vaccines are available to help prevent many of these diseases. Although vaccination increases production costs, it helps protect the flock and reduce the risk of heavy losses. So while poultry requires a more structured health management program, proper vaccination can make, let's say, a huge difference. So the fifth factor, that's the market. Chicken meat and eggs have one of the most largest market almost everywhere because people consume them daily, making demand very high. However, because many people produce chickens and eggs, the high supply can sometimes, reduce market prices. That's basic economics, right? The competitions are everywhere, so automatically market prices, or there is a higher chance that market prices are going to be reduced. Pig farming also has a strong market and can be very profitable. A robust market indeed. But then, however, in many regions, religion and cultural preferences influence pork consumption, so the market may vary depending on your location. Goat meat is also highly valued and is often considered a premium meat in many communities. As a result, goats usually sell at attractive prices. The only downside is that farmers have to wait much longer, often between 1 and 2 years, before the animals reach desirable market weight. So while goat farming can be rewarding, it requires patience. So reproduction, that will be our last thing that we talk about in this video. For chickens, especially local breeds, you don't always have to depend entirely on buying day-old chicks. With good management, local hens can hatch their own chicks, helping you expand your flock naturally and maintain the long-term sustainability or the sustainability of a farm. Goats also reproduce well. Many goats give birth to twins, and some even produce triplets under good management, allowing herd to grow steadily over time. Pigs, however, are among the most prolific livestock animals. A sow or a swine can produce a large litter, commonly around 8 to 14 piglets. That's incredible. Supposedly, you are giving birth 8 to 8 kids at a time. It's really incredible. It's really fascinating. While some highly prolific breeds may produce even more under excellent management, so they can even breed up to about 20. That's what research shows. 20 piglets per bird. So this high productivity rate makes pig farming attractive for farmers looking to expand their operations quickly. So as we end the video, there's a question for you. Which one should you choose, or which one should I choose if I'm starting today? So it comes in different folds. If your goal is quick returns, lower startup capital and limited space, then poultry farming is probably your best option. If you have good grazing land, you are looking for lower feeding costs, and you are patient enough to wait for higher value animals, you say you are patient enough, you are not in a haste to get profit instantly, then the goat farming or the goat farming is an excellent choice. And if you are looking for fast multiplication, a strong market in your area, and you are ready to invest in quality feeding and biosecurity, then pig farming could be the right enterprise for you. At the end of the day, there's no single livestock business that is perfect for everyone. The best choice actually depends on your market, the capital, management skills, and land availability. So we end here, and if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who is planning to start a livestock business. It's been another section with your agribusiness consultant. Follow for more.